What's going on, guys? I want to do a video for before racing season starts here. Going through the quad, doing all the prep on it, and I wanted to show you what I was doing for this year, problems I had from last year, and I got most of the quad back together here, but I'm going to go through the clutches, show you what I had to do for that, a couple other things. I finished second last year in the 4x4 class. There's only 3 of us in the class, and this year everybody's moving out of the class, so there's no 4x4s in the 4x4 class. So me and my buddy, we moved up one row in the Vet B, which is 30-year-olds, and we're both 40 plus years old. But the top 5 guys in that class last year had about the same times that me and my buddy had. So we're actually going to move up to Vet B, and it should be very competitive. There's 17 guys signed up for that class this year, so it's going to be exciting. I know I'm not going to make all the races this year due to work, but I'm going to give it my all for every class that I do, or every race that I do participate in. So I'm going to go through the quad. It's going to be a real quick video, just what I'm doing to get it prepped for this year. So I'm about halfway through getting my quad ready for this year. I went ahead and I pulled the rear diff off, and there was a lot of slack in it. I didn't like the backlash in it, so I went and re-shimmed the rear diff. And then I also have a lot of slack. I thought my U-joints were bad in my drive shaft. The splines actually are loose on it, and the ball joint, or the U-joints, are probably half worn. So by end of this season, they're going to be all the way worn, pretty shot, and I'm just going to go ahead and replace the whole drive shaft at the end of this season. I had a couple boots ripped, so I RVT'd them and put new clamps on them. My brakes are fine. I had my shocks redone by Mr. Unlimited. Mario did an awesome job on them. He's local to me, so it's easier than sending them through the mail. I can just drop them off at his place. So I went in, this was cracking again this year, back in here where the sway bar is. So I went ahead and made a plate, and every year this darn place cracks, so I made a plate on the front side. Last year I made a plate on the back side, but it was still cracking. I think it cracked twice on me last year, and I had to re-weld, so I just went ahead and I made a new plate here. Hopefully that will solve my cracking problem. So both sides of this now are double plated to help keep that from flexing. I still have my clutches off. Those are on the bench. Here I am. I'm in the farm shop, and I'm taking my STM clutch apart. It's probably got, I don't know, 3,000 race miles on it, so the thing was getting shot. I was prepping it for this year's racing, and I actually found, this is the spider, and the top of the spider is cracked. Right, no, I don't know if you'll be able to see. There's the spider is cracked right here. Oh, you can kind of see it there. So I ended up getting a new spider. I'm rebuilding. I'm putting a new bearings on here, and I also have the bearing. I think they're washers, bearing washers maybe. But if you guys are hesitant to rebuild your STM clutches, I tried to make my own jigs and stuff to try to get this off. I just went ahead and purchased the base holder that holds this up, and I also purchased this wrench here. I tried making my own. I couldn't get it to work. This thing's stout. This is a 1/2 inch thick, so I was worried about it bending, but it didn't bend on me at all. It's really stout. So this is fairly easy to take apart, surprisingly. Once you get the holder here and the proper spider tool, you heat the spider up with a propane torch, which I have here. Heated it up really well, there's green Loctite on here that holds it on. Heated up really well, and I only used, I don't know, this is probably about a 4, maybe 5-foot bar, and put it on there, and it actually came right out. So it wasn't bad at all. If you guys are hesitant to rebuild them, it's not that bad, as long as you have the proper tools. So I'm gonna put a new spider on, which I have over here. I have a brand new spider. This is a RS clutch, but the new spider comes with new buttons and rollers, and I have the new, as you can see over here, before I go to that, these rollers are shot. This one's actually seized up on me because there's little plastic bushings in here, and the plastic bushings actually melted on me. So as you can see in this one here, this thing is melted on me. There's a ton of play in that. So when you purchase a new spider, it has the buttons on it. It has the rollers, so I'm all set to go there. I purchased a new bearing, and this is an old, this bearing actually says RS, 2RS on it. This is the new bearing. The needles are actually a lot wider, which I like, and it's the same diameter and everything else, so it should work pretty well. I also purchased these washers that go on the end of the bearings like this on the shaft, and I'm going to clean everything up. This goes on the end of the bearing, and everything's going to go together hopefully really well. Now this spider is supposed to be torqued to 500 foot-pounds, and I don't remember the nut that goes on here. I think that's 500 pounds too. The spider uses green Loctite. I think the nut, you can use red Loctite, which I am probably going to do. I don't have the top part of the clutch here with the spring and the cover, so going to put this back together. Hopefully it holds up good for the next race here, or all race season. But you definitely have to, I've raced this clutch for 3 years, and I would suggest after 2 years to change the buttons and the rollers and the bearings in it, because they do go bad. These clutches do wear out, and you definitely have to maintain them if you're putting that many miles and hours on them. So this is my second clutch that I'm going through. I had a QSC. Unfortunately, that thing, stuff started cracking on it and parts started breaking on it, so I had to pitch that and had this STM backup, which I'm using now. This STM, the spider cracked on it, so I'm rebuilding this one. I figured I'd just probably stick to STM now because I can buy the tools to disassemble it. Well, I have the tools now, and I have a bunch of different parts for these STM clutches, so I'll probably just stick with them. But you can use whatever brand you want. If you're racing, you got to be able to maintain your equipment, so it's just easier for me to do this. But all right, let's move on to the next thing. All right, I got everything cleaned up. I had to take some real fine sandpaper, some grooves in here. Clean that up really well. I'm gonna put it back together here. So I got, here is the washer that goes on, and then the bearing goes on. And here's another washer. And then this bearing cap goes on. Like that. And then on the bottom of the clutch, this clutch sleeve goes on. Now I actually had to clean the buttons ride right here, and I had to clean this up with sandpaper. There's quite a few grooves in here. Probably the next time I take this clutch apart, I might end up ordering a new one of these. I couldn't get some of these grooves out. The one thing I do like about the new clutch that STM just came out is they have metal plates here that are wear plates, and they bolt in on the side. I think that's a great idea, because then you wouldn't have to replace this whole piece. You can just replace that plate that's there. Love that idea. So then here comes this washer. I cleaned this up. This had a lip on it. That goes on there. And then my spider goes on after that. Make sure my arms are all down. and this is gonna go on top here like this. But I have to, I gotta get some green Loctite on there. All right, I got it all back together. The spider's supposed to be, like I said earlier, 500 foot-pounds. I didn't torque this to 500. I have my torque wrench. I actually torqued it to, I think I got 350 it set on it, but I mean, the torque wrench really only goes up to 300. So I just use this tool and that huge bar and tighten it up as much as I could. And then this nut, this is supposed to be 500 foot-pounds. I'll put red Loctite on it. You do have to have like a special socket here to do this. I found, you know, we have a bunch of tools at the farm. This is a pretty deep socket, but I did have to grind out the middle of this socket just so it would fit over this shaft to get in there. So you do have to, you might have to purchase this socket along with the spider tool and the thing that holds this up to rebuild your clutches. So we got my primary all back together. I have these bolts here keep stripping out with these Allen heads, so I went and bought these style Allen head ones. They're actually a little bigger. I put some lock washers on there and are also Loctited on. Hopefully prevent them from stripping. It seems like these are one use. Every time I tighten them back down, they strip. So I got my primary clutch back together. This is my secondary clutch. I had to do a little maintenance on that. I had to replace the rollers. They were shot on the other one. And then also this back sleeve, I had to get a new back sleeve on this STM secondary. This is the old one here, and you're probably not going to see, but it's cracked. Right where this lip is on here, every one of these fins is cracked all the way down. So I didn't like that, so I went ahead and bought a brand new back sleeve on this. So I got a new sleeve, new rollers. You saw I had the spider. Got a new spider on this, and I think that's about it for the clutches. Cost me about $1,000 to do the maintenance on the clutches. So here I am putting the new movable sleeve on my secondary. This is brand new. Basically everything on this clutch is new besides the helix and the spring. If I knew I had to replace this, I would have just bought a new secondary. But what happened was I had the whole quad back together and started driving it, started clunking. And what happened was this pin fell out through here, the roller fell out, and it was playing ping pong in my clutch cover. So this got egged out, the pin pulled out. Pretty much this thing is unfortunately junk. This is an older STM secondary. One thing I do like about the old one better is these fins are way bigger than on the new ones here. They're super small. But this clutch has came with new rollers in it, or this movable sleeve. So I'm putting it all back together here, and hopefully I can take it for a ride. I'm also putting a brand new clutch backing cover on. Here's my old one over here. Let's see, I was down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the bolts, and the rest are stripped out. So I'm putting a brand new backing plate on. A lot of play in the handlebars without the tires moving. This is a J Parts pitman arm on here with a bushing, but they're just, I've had it for 3 years, and there's a, I can't get it in there. There's just a ton of play. There's a ton of play in the pitman arm itself and the bushing, so I'm not really sure if I'm gonna order a new one. They're $400 a pop now. When I bought it was closer to $300. But I might put like a stainless steel sleeve in between the bushing and that pitman arm just to see if it will tighten it up at all. I got a crack here once I get the rest of the quad together. This cracks every year right here. I'm gonna put another plate on here, just double that up. And then I'm just gonna go through the front of the quad. I know I need new bushings here. I bought brand new garage product bushings. I'm gonna put those in. But other than that, it's pretty it held up really good last year. I didn't really have any problems. I had one race where the quad overheated, but it ended up being the fan relay in here ended up going on it, so I replaced that fan relay and the thing ran really good. I'm running a dual fan setup on this. I haven't had any problems since I put this bigger fan in the front. I got a pusher and a puller, and it's hooked up to my, I think I showed you guys before, it's hooked up to my headlight switch here. I turn this on and we'll turn the front fan on. But I haven't had any problems with this whole setup. And since I changed that relay, it stopped overheating. So I'm going to go through the ball joints, the front end, tie rod ends. Everything looks pretty tight on it. This is where I welded up this side here. I added that extra brace here. And I might put some new garage product bushings on it. And I went through and greased the rear wheel bearings. And I'm going to do the front when I take those apart. But everything else is pretty well held together for me. So I'm going to get it back together here and see how we do. We're going to have, like I said, 17 people in the class. So it's going to be exciting. We're the only two 4x4s. We're going to be running all sport quads in the class. Sport guys, quad guys probably aren't going to be too happy that we're running in there, but we don't really have a choice. There's only 2 people in our class, and I want to run with some other people. So I'm going to try to get videos out this year. Really busy, but we'll see if I can get them out. Hopefully I can, and hopefully you enjoy them. Hopefully you'll learn some stuff and get you into the sport. It's going to be expensive this year. Prices are up for everything. So thanks for watching the videos, and I really look forward to racing this year and getting some stuff out for you. All right, take it easy, guys.
Everyone knows parents never home, so that's the spot where everyone goes. Hooking up a ghost who never